Okay, so today I wanted to talk about peer pressure. Now, peer pressure just being a group of people or person trying to convince another group of people or person to do something that the other party is not entirely comfortable with doing. Now, if you're a teenager or young kid or even an adult, you have probably experienced peer pressure in two different kind of ways. I want to talk about those because I've experienced them myself and I want to kind of talk about them. The first one being a good kind of peer pressure, which is just your friends or family trying to convince you to do something that you haven't done before, that thinking further on in life, looking back at it, would you think back and say, damn, I wish I did that? So they're trying to convince you to do something so that in the future you'll think back and say, I'm so happy those people, my friends and family, convinced me to do this. Because if they didn't, I wouldn't have done it and I would have thought back on it and said, I wish I did that. That's the good kind of peer pressure. That's the kind of peer pressure that I've experienced with my friends and family, where when I went overseas and going over there, people convinced me to go overseas, see my friends, see my family. That's something that I probably wouldn't have done because I'm not that kind of person. Plus, it was an experience I was scared of. But then I did it, and I'm like, I'm so happy I did it. And then same thing with when I was over in Finland seeing my best friend. I was going out with him and a few others of his family and people that I got to know. And we went to a bar, had a couple drinks, and he tried to convince me to sing karaoke, which I'm like, nope, public speaking, anything in public just scares the hell out of me. I do not want to do that. No way in hell, not going to happen. But then I kept on getting people telling me, go on, go do it. It'll be good. It'll be fun. Come on. Nobody's going to judge you. All that kind of stuff. So I literally just put my hands up and said, fine, screw it. I'll do it. And I did. And not going to lie, probably something I'm not going to do again, but hey, I'm happy I did it. I like to think I sang pretty good, but yeah, I'm not going to be the judge of my own singing. But again, that is a few examples of positive peer pressure. And if you're somebody who experiences this, that's good. You're surrounded by people, friends or family, that want to try and make you do things that you wouldn't have usually done, and that is something that's good for you, physically, mentally, spiritually, just anything like that. And it's a benefit and it's good. Now, on the flip side of that are, I guess, the usual examples of peer pressure, where people are trying to convince you to do something that you don't want to do. You're saying no. Usually no is enough, but for some people like this, no is not enough, where they just keep on egging you on, and eventually either you say no, they'll say a few bad words, sometimes even worse than that, or they'll drop it. Usually that's not the case. And I've experienced this because I'm not somebody that drinks. I've gone 20 years without having a full bottle of beer or any kind of liquor whatsoever till my 20th birthday. And that was just once. I had my first taste of liquor was a shot of passion fruit vodka. And I'm like, yep, that's confirmed my disdain for alcohol, both the taste and the feeling. So I'm like, nope, not happening. But then about 2 weeks ago, I went out with my mates on the weekend to a bar, had a few drinks, bar closed, went to another bar, had more drinks. I got drunk. Not gonna lie, weirdest goddamn feeling of my life. But I was pressured to have more drinks and get drunk and all that kind of stuff. Got home. Thankfully, somebody had driven me. I'm not that stupid to drink and drive. And lied in bed, freaking room is spinning. And then I wake up the next morning with a pounding headache. And I'm like, okay, this sucks ass. I'm not going to do this again. Lo and behold, a week after that, I go back, and which was last week, and went out with my mates again to the bar, played some pool, had a few drinks. I was good enough to probably drive myself home, and there was a friend there who was sober, and he could have driven me home, but I just got a call from my mom, and she drove me back. So, and then tomorrow, same thing. I'm planning to go out with them. Now, they don't peer pressure me to drink, but again, if you're somebody that does experience that with people that peer pressuring you to go out and drink or consume alcohol or do drugs or anything like that, and you are totally not wanting to do it, and they keep on trying to convince you, those are not people that you want to be surrounded by or probably have in your lives. And I know it might be hard to just leave them, but they're not going to be a good influence on you. Now, thankfully, my friends, they're not stingy about it, and they actually understand my desire to not drink. So when I do go out with them, I don't always drink. That's the same thing with going out tomorrow. I might have a single drink and then just drink ginger beer for the rest of the night. So I like ginger beer, but just do that. I'm just going to go and have drinks. That doesn't mean I'm going to get drunk or have to consume alcohol. I can consume things that aren't that and still enjoy myself and enjoy it with my mates. But that's the thing. Depending on who you're surrounded by and who you're with and what kind of peer pressure they give you will help you understand what kind of people you're surrounded by. But also, you need to understand that you need to be true to yourself and what you want. Do you want to do this? Do you not want to do this? And whatever your choice is, you have to bear with the consequences of your own actions. It's something you need to understand, that if you are peer pressured into doing something, and you give in and do it even though you don't want to, whatever comes out of that, you have to bear that on your chest. So, yeah, that's about it. I hope whoever's watching this takes something out of it, and let me know what's something that you've been peer pressured into doing, good or bad. I'd like to hear it. So that's about it. See ya.